Time now for everybody's favorite guessing game, What's My Line? Throughout the world, only one company produces all types of business machines and systems, Remington Rand, who now invite you to play What's My Line?
And now let's meet our award-winning What's My Line panel. First, the popular columnist whose voice of Broadway appears in papers from coast to coast, Miss Dorothy Kilgallen.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. And now I'd like to introduce someone who has just skidded in from 59th Street, Mr. Fred Allen.
Thank you very much. Some years ago, ladies and gentlemen, Irving Berlin said that a pretty girl is like a melody. And now, of course, with my voice, I can't bring you a melody, but I can bring you a pretty girl. And here she is, sitting in for Arlene Francis again this week, Miss Vivian Blaine.
I have a confession to make. Since last week, a friendship has rapidly developed into a romance. I'm speaking of none other than my favorite, shall we say, doll of a guy, Mr. Bennett Cerf.
Thank you, Vivian. I hope my wife wasn't listening. Well, this is the slipperiest night of the year in New York. The streets are covered with ice. So I think it's appropriate that I introduce to you now the slipperiest panel moderator in the business, Honest John Daly.
Thank you, Bennett. And thank you for coming. Those of you who are with us tonight, it does look like we're going to have a bit of weather here in New York. And the panel will be happy to know that because we're right near the first of the new year. Yes, Mr. Allen.
Would you be interested? Are you in the mood for another retroactive joke?
Sure I am. Let's have a retroactive joke.
Well, last week we had a Swedish lady who was on the program who developed that she was a bullfighter. And 3 days later, I thought of a joke which wasn't very helpful. But the joke was that if she killed the bull and the bull had led a good life, when the bull died, would it go to Hamburg heaven? It's hardly worth the effort, John, and I apologize. I will
give you A for trying, because retroactive jokes are very difficult.
They sure are.
We got
they
a
should
lot
be left in the past, too.
We got a lot of live ones coming up, I think. We're up to our usual tricks with some small variations on one side or another, and we'll have a famous guest challenger a bit later on to challenge my friends on the panel. But right now, I think we ought to put these four experts to work. Let them meet the first challenger whose line has to be spotted. So would you sign in, please, ma'am? Sign in right there, if you will. Oh, well, no, I guess you shouldn't sign in, really. Panel, we're not going to play any tricks, you see? So we're just not going to sign in. Come on over with me, will you? That's fine. If you'll sit right down here, I would explain, panel, that there is, by happenstance here, something to do with the sound of the name, or there's an identifying factor, so that we just felt that you shouldn't have the sign in or have the name. Yes,
does she know who she is? Does the lady know who?
Oh, yes, yes. We've got that down pat, actually. And all I would like to know is, are you familiar with our scoring system?
Yes, I am.
Oh, fine. If you know how we score, then I think there's nothing left to do but let the folks at home and our good, hearty friends here in the theater know exactly what your line is. And now, panel, simply because we want to be helpful, and I want you to believe this, I'm going to give you a little bit more information. Our guest is self-employed. With that, let's begin the general questioning with Dorothy Kilgallen.
May I call you Miss X?
Miss X would be fine.
Miss X, you have rather a healthy outdoor look. Are you involved at all with athletics?
Yes, I am.
Are you very good at some type of sport or game?
Sure she is.
Okay.
Is it anything that's ever played or done out of doors?
Ever done or played outdoors?
Oh,
yes. Oh, I'd say yes.
Do you use any implements other than your own hands?
Yes.
Do you use more than one?
Mm-hmm.
Is a ball involved?
Yes.
You mean a round or spherical object that, yes.
Well, I don't mean a square ball.
Well, we keep hoping.
Is the sport that you're involved in a sport that is a particular favorite with our president?
Yes, it is.
Are you a golfer?
You always thought you meant fishing. What was your... Oh, yeah, are you a golfer was the question. Is that right,
Yes.
Dorothy? You want to leave that question there?
Yes, I might as well, because that's really what I meant.
Yes, I am.
Yeah.
Are you a championship golfer?
Yes.
Well, now comes the embarrassing part, because I don't know enough about golf to know who the championship golfers are, so I passed to Fred Allen, who does.
Well, I know the caddy's name. Is it Felix?
No, Willie.
Millie.
Willie.
Willie.
Oh, Willie. I thought
Yeah.
probably you had a girl caddy, too. Well, I have to pass, unfortunately, to Vivian, because I don't know anything
Well,
about
I'm
golf.
goofing, too. I have no idea either.
Well, gee,
Bennett?
you look like Patty Berg.
That's so it is. Miss Patty Berg, indeed it is, and a professional golfer, Dorothy. I think you won the bit, as we say, because we didn't ask you to identify by name. We asked you to identify by occupation. Tell you how right you are, though. Miss Patty has just been named the Woman Athlete of the Year for 1955 by the Sports Writers and Broadcasters, and it's the third time in a row, isn't it, Miss Patty?
No, John, I've been very lucky. I had it in 38, 43, and now 1955.
That's 3 times. That's one. How long have you been playing golf?
Well, John, I've been playing golf almost 25 years and 22 years of competitive golf.
25 years, 22 years of competitive. You
I'm
must have-
37, John.
Oh, no. You don't have to. I was going to say you must have been a little tight in the cradle there with those long clubs and the ball.
Well, that's very nice.
No, golly, but you've won just about every big prize that a woman can win. Yes, Mr. Allen?
John, I'd like to ask Miss
Or Mr.
Berg
Cerf?
about Babe Zacharias. Is she, you think she's going to play anymore?
Well, I was over to visit her not too long ago, Mr. Cerf, and the report is that she's coming along much better now. And we're all hoping, I know you and everyone else throughout America is certainly hoping that she has a full and completely recovered.
Oh, yeah. Mr. Allen,
Miss Berg isn't related to Nancy Berg, is she?
do you go do Sleepy Time Girl anytime? Can you sing Sleepy Time? Nancy?
No.
You know Nancy Berg? Nancy Berg is a very pretty young lady who, in New York City, on or about the hour of 1 a.m.
1 o'clock in the morning.
1 o'clock in the morning. Mr. Allen is a night man. You
I'm
know,
the only
he's up
one
at
up
all
in New
hours
York.
of the day.
Oh, I'm asleep by then.
You're asleep by Miss Kilgallen.
I was
You
going
look
to say,
it.
I'm sure that in order to be a championship golfer, that Patty has to go to bed a little earlier than Nancy.
That's for sure. What do you do between tournaments, Miss Patty?
Well, I put on clinics and exhibitions for Wilson Sporting Goods. I travel about 50,000 miles a year.
Teaching women to play golf or men too?
Well, in our audience, we have both women and men.
Because if you could teach me to play golf, you've got another customer right here.
Well, I'd be very happy to.
I'm the original 110 for 18 holes man.
Oh, no.
But I have a lot of fun.
Well, good.
I have a lot of fun. And we had a lot of fun having you with us, and I thank you very much for being our guest on What's My Line.
Thank
Would
you
you
very
say
much,
good night
Mr.
to the
Davis.
panel, Patty,
Good
please?
night.
Flip all the cards. And we flip all the cards just automatically when anybody gets treated this way by the panel.
That's your answer.
Well, now let's see if we can't treat the panel a little bit shamefully, too. See what you can do with another challenger. Will you sign in, please, ma'am? Marie Delia, is it? Well, I didn't want you to think I didn't want you to have that piece of chalk. It's just that you don't know what to do with it if I don't take it away from you and put it up on the shelf. Where are you from?
Westchester, Pennsylvania.
Westchester, Pennsylvania. Well, it's nice to have you with us. I tell you, we like to give the panel a little bit of a chance. Would you take a walk down there and let them get a closer look at you, please?
Glad to see you.
Hello, Mr.
And now, if you'll come over here, please, and sit down next to me. Is it Miss or Mrs. Delia? Mrs. Delia? All righty, you sit right here, and you know how we keep the score on this operation. All righty, let's let the people at home and our friends in the theater know exactly what your line is. All righty, panel. Mrs. Delia is salaried. With that, let's begin the general questioning with retroactive Fred Allen.
I pass, John.
You can't pass.
No, all right. Do you deal in services, Mrs. Delia?
Yes, I do.
Are your services available for men and for women?
I would think so. Let me have a
For
small...
little men
conference.
and old women? Yes.
Did you say men and women, Fred?
Both, yes.
You did. Well...
In the same breath.
1 down and 9 to go. Miss Blaine?
Do you work for a profit-making organization?
No. That's 2 down and 8 to go, Mr. Sir.
No. Do you work in Pennsylvania?
No.
You don't?
3 down and 7 to go, Miss Kilgallen.
Well, now, you said that your services were not available for men and women. Are they available for more than one sex of anything? Of any type?
Nope. That makes it 4 down and 6 to go, Mr. Allen. Now, what we're
Yes.
trying to convey to you here is that actually Mrs. Delia's services are confined to one of the sexes.
Well, what I was trying to convey was it people?
Yes, I know. No, there are no animals involved, Miss Dorothy. It's people.
Are your services... Oh, pardon me.
No, I'm through.
Oh, are you really?
Yes.
I am, but I don't know it. Are your services available exclusively for women?
Yes.
They are. And you work for a non-profit-making organization? You work for some branch of the government?
Yes.
Do you work for the city government?
No.
That makes it 5 down and 5 to go, Miss Blaine.
Do you touch the people that you service?
Sometimes, yeah.
Becoming very involved. Do you touch? We may be cut off the air, John.
Let's not be now.
Do you touch any particular part of the anatomy? In other words, do you specialize in any particular part of the anatomy, or is it a generalization?
Well, now, the question is, do you specialize in any particular part of the anatomy? No. That makes it 6 down and 4 to go, Mr. Sir.
Now, Mrs. Delia, you said you did not work in Pennsylvania. May I presume, therefore, that you work for the national government?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Have you anything to do with the Department of Justice or penology?
Isn't that something, the Department of Justice?
No.
Isn't that? No, that isn't. 7 down and 3 to go, Miss Kilgallen.
Do any of the ladies under your supervision or that you come in contact with wear uniforms?
Yes.
Are you connected with the armed forces in any way?
Yes.
Or the unarmed forces?
Mm-hmm.
Are you connected with the WAC?
Yes.
Now, do I have to find out something else?
Yes, there is a special designation here.
You have a rank? Is that what I'm trying to find out?
Well, and an assignment, which is an interesting one.
Are you under a general?
Under a general, I hope so.
Below the rank of general? Are you below colonel?
Are you below colonel? Mm-hmm.
Are you below captain?
Yes.
Are you a non-commissioned officer?
Yes.
Are you a sergeant?
Yes. I think, actually, we ought to give in. Yeah, I think that Dorothy's got it. You have determined that Mrs. Delia is a sergeant in the United States Army. The only thing to add is that she is a master sergeant and an MP, military policewoman.
Well, I never would have gotten that.
Thank you very much. And just to answer the question you might have, Bennett, actually, Miss Delia is currently posted at Fort Dix, where she does such military police work as is necessary with members of the distaff sex. Miss Kilgallen?
She looks too sweet to be an MP. How does she get anything done?
Actually, Dorothy, it's been my experience that MPs generally, of both sexes, are really nice people if you get to know them well, you know? Fred?
The WACs have a branch of known as the WICs, you know.
What are they, Fred?
Those are girls who sit in lighthouses during the war.
Thank you. That
lit up.
That lit up the whole show. All righty, in just a moment we'll meet tonight's mystery guest, but first, here's Dick Stark with a word from Remington Rand.
Good evening, friends. Tonight I'd like to have you meet two hard-working models. First of all, Miss Dorian Lee, who's one of the busiest fashion models in the business. And appearing tonight with Miss Lee, Remington Rand's Model 99 calculator that prints. Now, whether you're in the business of manufacturing dresses or steamships, you will find that this versatile machine cuts out literally hours of figuring inventory, overhead, commissions, raw cost. This one compact machine automatically multiplies, divides, adds, and subtracts, and prints the results on tape. Yet it's so easy to operate. Suppose, for example, we have an order for 400 copies of this cocktail dress. Well, we simply turn to our Model 99, and in a matter of seconds, it gives us the cost of manufacturing each dress. Now, watch. It multiplies 1,575 yards of silk by the $2.20 cost per yard, and then adds a cost of $1,650 for accessories and trim, and then adds $2,925 for the cost of labor, and comes up with a total cost of $8,040, which, divided by 400, gives us the exact cost of each dress. And there it is, $20.10, the exact cost of manufacture for each dress. As a matter of fact, every essential figure in the calculation is printed here right on this tape. And so you see, the Remington Model 99 calculator not only calculates rapidly, but it keeps its own permanent record of those calculations. And that's why we say that in a large business, the Model 99 is the heart of the accounting department. In a small business, it is the accounting department. Remington Rand makes more than 80 other models of calculating machines, every one of them available for you on 10 days free trial, up to 30 months to pay after a small down payment. Calculating machines and adding machines. My friend, no matter what your business needs may be, Remington Rand has the machine for you. So see your Remington representative first.
And now we come to the special feature of our program, the appearance of our mystery celebrity, for which my friends on the panel are blindfolded. Blindfolds all in place, panel?
Yes, indeed.
Good. Will you come in, mystery challenger, and sign in, please? All right, panel, as you know, in the case of our mystery challenger, we go to a different form of questioning. You will ask one question at a time, in turn, clockwise, and we'll begin it all with Bennett Cerf.
Are you a show business personality?
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
Miss Kilgallen?
I'm so unprepared, I thought it was a glamour girl from the Whistles. Are you in the movies? Or have you been in the movies?
Or is the question?
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
Have you been in the theater?
No.
One down and 9 to go, Miss Blaine.
Have you made records?
Yeah. I made a few records.
Mr. Cerf?
Have you also appeared in nightclubs?
Yes, I have, yeah.
Miss Kilgallen?
Were the records you made singing type records?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mr. Allen?
Have you appeared at the Copacabana?
No.
2 down and 8 to go, Miss Blaine.
Were the records that you made, were they made by you alone, or were they in conjunction with someone?
Now, that can't be answered yes or no. You want to cut that?
Oh, all right. Well, in other words, did you make records with someone?
You mean like an orchestra or another personality?
Another person, another vocal personality.
Sometimes.
Mr. Cerf?
You ever sing Old Black Magic?
No.
7 to go, Miss Kilgallen.
Are you more long hair than cool?
Definitely not.
4 down and 6 to go, Mr. Allen.
Are you rather no hair than some? Are you working in a night spot in New York currently?
No, I am not.
5 down and 5 to go, Miss Blaine.
Have you come into the business during the last 5 years? I mean, come into your own in the business during the last 5 years.
The question is, have you come into your own or come into the business? Wait.
Come into your own in the business. Have you become a star in the last 5 years?
Well, I would say this. I think our guest does not or has too much modesty to answer that affirmatively. I would say that he has become a star in the last 5 years. Mr. Sir?
Do you play some instrument besides singing?
Not professionally, no.
6 down and 4 to go, Miss Kilgallen.
Not professionally?
No.
Never played the copa?
Guess that makes me a square on it.
All right, have you ever played Birdland? Or sung Birdland?
Voidland.
Hmm?
No, I never played Voidland.
Never
No?
played Boydland, no. 7 down and 3 to go, Mr. Allen.
Birdland is a branch of the Audubon Society, isn't it?
Creak, creak.
Are you, I pass. I get too confused here, John. When I can see, I can't understand anything.
Miss Blaine.
Are you better known on record than in any other medium of show business? In other words, are you better known for your discs in comparison to any appearances you may have made on television or in motion pictures or in the theater or wherever it may have been?
From the sales of the discs, I would say hovering, just on the line.
He's hovering. Mr. Sir.
Do you have a regular television show?
No.
That's 8 down and 2 to go, Miss Kilgallen.
8 down and 2 to go?
Yeah.
Get it done.
It's impossible. Are you a country and blues singer or rock and roll? Are you in any of those categories?
Well, I try to sing everything.
But does not...
I do a little of that, yeah.
A little bit, but is not specifically a rock
You're
and
not
roll.
specifically, you're not
No,
Tennessee Ernie or anybody
That's
like that.
9 down and 1 to go, Mr. Allen.
Do you have a hit record at the moment?
Nope.
That's 10 down and no more to go, and you may now take off your masks and meet Gary Crosby, son of Bing Crosby. Gary, I've been here a long, long time now, waiting for somebody to stick this panel who is a mystery celebrity, and I thank you for doing it. You did it magnificently, too.
Well, actually, I think the reason I stumped him is because there's still a question as to whether I'm a celebrity. Vivian was talking about the sales of discs and things like that. Did you have any idea?
Well, I knew
Was
you
that
were
what
in
were
town.
Was that what you were going on?
Yes.
Oh, you knew that
couldn't-
Gary was in town. I had a hunch you were...
I couldn't honestly
Yeah,
say I didn't have a
yeah.
hit record. I knew you were kind of on a track when you started
I
saying
had
you made
you,
a
boy.
record.
I had you.
Yes,
Twice,
Miss
really, I
Dorothy.
did. Twice more around, and that would have been it.
I missed your
Yeah.
father when he was on the program.
There's such a startling resemblance. I was wondering if Gary ever had any fun imitating his father. Do you ever do that? I mean, in the
I've,
singing department?
I've done it around at different parties and social gatherings.
Would you
that's
pretend
not-
this was a party?
I get a few chuckles. Pardon me?
Would you pretend this was a party and do it?
Oh, no. Well, I tell you, I think you could get a better imitation out of Dean Martin. He does it very well.
Will you do just do a bit of it?
I can't sing anything like him. I know that. I can't make that kind of a sound, but well, he kind of talks a little bit like this. And it's a real pleasure to be here tonight, ladies and gentlemen. And, I haven't got those big eyes, you know, with the lids about that.
Gary, I must say that certainly in the last 2 or 3 years, you have made your own place in what is known as the entertainment world.
Thank you.
How tough is it being the son of a very famous and very competent father who's actually in the same line of the business that you are going into or are now active in?
Well, I'll tell you, John, it's a lot of people have asked me that question, and the best way that I can think of to answer it is that there's a lot of thorns with the roses, but I think it's worth it. I've certainly had a lot of breaks that I know other people with my ability would not be able to have if I wasn't who I was.
That's a wonderful thing for a young man your age to say. And I will say that certainly just being your dad's son is good for you because he's one of the most lovable men in the country. I've kind of grown up with his singing, and he's a great guy. And thank you very much for being our guest. And would you be good enough to stop by and offer my personal greetings to every member of the panel and remind them that we stuck them, will you?
Thank you, Honest God.
Thank you very much, Mr. Scott. And now, a word from Remington Rand.
Throughout the world, only one company produces all types of business machines and systems. Remington Rand. Creators of over 50 typewriter models, more than 60 kinds of photocopying and microfilming equipment, 80 adding machines and printing calculators, and a complete line of electronic computing systems. Remington Rand, manufacturers of over 20,000 products to serve the world of business.
And now, before our panel says goodnight, may I remind you to tune in again next Sunday at 10:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, when once again we invite you to play What's My Line. For other localities, please check your local listings for the date and time of our weekly series. And now, a word from next week's sponsor.
The Remington shave is the comfortable shave. Here's our famous peach with its short, close fuzz. And here's the Remington electric shaver. The guard removed so you can see the fuzz fall. See how it shaves that peach without harming its tender skin. The same Remington that can shave the bristles off a brush. Bristles tougher than any beard. So to give yourself a clean, comfortable shave, give yourself the Remington shave.
And one thing, by the way, I forgot to mention when Miss Patty Berg was here, Babe Zacharias, you know, is now at least honored by having a cancer foundation established in her name. And she's going to do her bit to try and wipe out something that a lot of other energies have gone into for a good many years. It's been good fun tonight. Until next week, this is John Daly saying good night, Miss Dorothy.
Good night, Fred.
Good night, Dorothy. Good night, Vivian. Be careful of the cold, you know. It's gotten Grace Kelly has a new chap on her hands. Good night.
Good night, Fred. Good night, Bennett.
Nice to have you here, Vivian.
Thank
and all I can say in our defense is that Gary Crosby sounds more like Billy Daniels than his father. Good night, John.
Good night, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks for being with us on What's My Line?
Travel arrangements are made on What's My Line through American Airlines. American Airlines flies her contestants in luxurious comfort aboard DC-7 flagship. This has been a Mark Goodson, Bill Codman production in association with the CBS...